Welcome to the Missouri Slope Area-wide United Way's annual luncheon. I am Corey Fong from Odney, and I will be your MC today. Apparently, this is what happens to recovering politicians. We end up on the MC circuit. Thank you for joining us today as we celebrate our community and the work of the partners, donors, and volunteers throughout the Bismarck-Mandan region. Today, we hope you will gain a better understanding of the integral role our United Way plays in our community, as well as celebrate the businesses and community leaders that make this work possible. In keeping with this year's campaign theme, Leave a Legacy, today you will hear how many in our community, businesses, organizations, and individuals are leaving their legacy as a part of this year's United Way campaign. We will now start by welcoming Pastor Paul Hare to the stage for the invocation. Pastor Paul is pastor of adult ministries at Century Baptist Church. He also has played an active role in the local homeless coalition. Please welcome Pastor Hare.
Well, I got to admit, I usually don't get applause before I pray. And probably won't get any after either. But I would invite you to join me as we begin our time together in prayer. Heavenly Father, we bow before you, acknowledging your presence in this place, acknowledging you as the author and the giver of life. God, as you have designed and created us, you've created us for community and for fellowship. And Lord, while we will experience that here today, and we are grateful for it, we are gathered for a greater reason, which is as the United Way continues its work specifically here in Region 7 and in Bismarck-Mandan area, that they would have wisdom and continued discernment as they look at and address needs and issues, working with many other agencies in the schools and businesses and our civic and government leaders. Father, we are grateful for what you have done in and through them and pray that it would continue. Lord, as we spend this time together, may we not only enjoy one another's company, may we not only enjoy the food, may it be used to bring strength and nourishment to our bodies for the activities that we have later on today. But God, may we be challenged as we hear from you through different people, different servants of yours, as to how we can continue love our neighbor as ourselves and continue to see that the Bismarck-Mandan area, even the state of North Dakota, with all that it is experiencing in prosperity, reach out and make a difference to those who may not have the same advantage that some of us do. So God, bless this time with not only your presence, but your guidance and leadership today. In the name of Jesus, my Savior, I pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Pastor Paul. We do appreciate your words today. As the lunch is served, I want to thank the Ramkota staff for their wonderful hospitality and today's great meal. Please enjoy your lunch as we continue the program. I would now like to introduce a couple of very special guests to the stage with me today. Jack Dalrymple was sworn in as the 32nd governor of the great state of North Dakota on December 7th, 2010, and began working to grow and diversify North Dakota's economy and create good-paying jobs and economic opportunities for our citizens. He brings to the office an outstanding record of agriculture, business, legislative, and executive leadership. Since taking office, the governor has worked to fund the state's priorities, provide expanded tax relief for North Dakotans, geez, where have I heard that before, and maintain strong reserves for the future. Under Governor Dalrymple's leadership, More than 60,000 new jobs have been created. More than $1 billion in broad-based tax relief has been provided to the North Dakota citizens and small businesses. Billions of dollars have been invested in strengthening the state's roads, highways, and communities. And North Dakota has the fastest growing economy in the nation and has been ranked the best run state in the nation. That's not too shabby, Governor Dalrymple. Besides trying to keep her husband on the right track these days, which is no doubt a full-time job, First Lady Betsy Dalrymple has made literacy one of her #1 initiatives, traveling the state, advocating for expanded reading programs in our schools, and oftentimes reading in the classroom herself. And one of the projects to which the First Lady has dedicated herself aligns perfectly with our United Way, the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. And with the help of the First Lady, the program is now offered in 15 counties, 12 cities, and 11 school districts across the state. So please help me provide a very warm welcome and no doubt to people who are leaving a great legacy in North Dakota, our Governor, Jack Dalrymple, and First Lady Betsy Dalrymple.
Corey, thank you very much for that kind introduction, and I think you have a big career ahead of you as an MC. This should be fine, and be sure to keep on doing it. Before we start, I want to say hello to everybody, and thank you for including us at lunch. I see Jenna Gullo is here. Jenna, I don't know where you're at, but I'm always glad to respond to your invitation and come. Terry Kraft, thank you for greeting us when we came in. The two co-chairs, Dr. Craig Lambrecht and Andy Seri, I tell you couldn't have a better pair than that to mastermind your annual drive. And good to see those folks here today as well. Senator Heitkamp, nice to see you. I didn't realize you were here for lunch. Oh, yeah. She's following me. Yeah, that's a good joke. But anyhow, we're glad to participate again this year, and I think this is one of the nicest luncheons of the entire year. The group is fun to be with. I want to say that we look forward each year to celebrating the campaign results, and especially recognizing those who have worked so hard to really make a difference in Bismarck-Mandan, and for that matter, in communities all across.
The Missouri Slope area-wide United Way has been a positive force in the Bismarck-Mandan area for more than 85 years, dedicated to helping others and to enhancing the livability of our communities. Taking care of our people is a fundamental responsibility we all share. Taking care of our own is what we do best here.
Betsy and I have a steadfast commitment to taking care of people and enhancing the quality of life of all North Dakota. That's why we strongly support the efforts of the United Way, building stronger communities and brighter futures for everyone. Winston Churchill once said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." A message that illustrates the commitment and compassion of the United Way and its partner agencies. Because of your efforts, we are uniting people and resources in order to impact the lives of others.
The United Way is a great vehicle for assessing the needs of our communities and providing the support and resources necessary for long-term stability and success. Their partnership with 34 nonprofit agencies, local schools, and business leaders allow them to identify needs in the community and address them by focusing on the underlying causes. It's not just one agency that can solve a problem. It takes the whole community working together to get the job done.
By working together, we can care for individuals with special needs and victims of domestic violence. We can make it possible for the elderly to live independently in their home. We can ensure that children have a strong foundation for academic success. and we can help provide people with the skills necessary to find and keep a job so they can provide for their family. When a child succeeds in school, families are financially stable. When people are healthy, we all win, and our communities and our state are stronger as a result.
One program that is near and dear to my heart is the Missouri Slopes United Way Dolly Parton Imagination Library. And I have to really take this moment to thank Jenna for her ongoing friendship and commitment to helping me spread the message across the state. Whenever I have a new affiliate that comes online, I'm quite often calling Jenna for some advice or some help, and I really appreciate that, Jenna, very, very much. Since this program began, and I hope you all are aware of it, that it provides free books once the donation is made to children 0 to 5. The books get mailed directly to their home. Since the program began here in 2009, more than 100,000 books have been mailed to children in our community. And that is just one example of the wonderful and rewarding work going on in our communities because of what United Way and its vast network of partners and supporters.
Bismarck-Mandan is an amazing community, with businesses and individuals from all walks of life stepping up to do their part to help others and support the efforts of the United Way. That level of commitment is demonstrated each year with the impressive amount of money raised to support these valuable programs and services. In fact, last year's campaign produced the largest amount ever raised in the history of the Missouri Slope United Way, a total of more than $2 million. And I'm confident this year's campaign will be equally as successful.
We'll have to wait to hear about that. Congratulations to Jenna and the United Way staff and board on another successful campaign, and thank you for all you do to keep our communities strong and thriving. Thank you to the partner agencies who work hard every day to provide important services to our youth, seniors, the homeless, those with special needs, victims of domestic abuse, and many others.
And thank you to our business and community leaders, donors and volunteers who not only made this campaign so successful, but who are dedicated each and every day to strengthening their community and making a difference in the lives of others. Everyone involved should take great pride in what has been accomplished and how their hard work and generosity will impact others.
One of my favorite quotes from Helen Keller that really speaks to what we are celebrating here today is, "Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much." When we come together as a community, united in our conviction to help others and to make a difference, we can accomplish amazing things. By just helping one child, or one family, or one senior, we can have an impact that will leave a legacy, not only for that child, family, or senior, but for our entire community and state.
Thank you for supporting the United Way and for all you're doing to strengthen lives and communities. We have so much to be proud of and thankful for in North Dakota, especially our commitment to helping others and our willingness to step up and make a difference. Each day, we hear examples of kindness, generosity between families, friends, neighbors, and even strangers. That is how we do things here in North Dakota. And the Missouri Slope area-wide United Way plays an integral role in making that happen. Thank you again for being here, and congratulations on another great campaign.
Thank you, Governor Jack and First Lady Betsy, for the wonderful message and for the way you are serving our state and community. We are also honored to have with us today U.S. Senator Heidi Heitkamp. Senator Heitkamp is the first woman elected to the U.S. Senate from North Dakota. She took the oath of office on January 3rd, 2013. Throughout her life, Senator Heitkamp has stood out as an advocate for North Dakota and all of our people, and that can be seen from her very distinguished career in public service in North Dakota, serving as tax commissioner and attorney general, her work on the board of Dakota Gasification, and now her work as a U.S. Senator. Already in her short time in Washington, Senator Heitkamp is making a name for herself as someone who works across the aisle to get real results for North Dakota and our nation. As proof of this, I recently read an article about Senator Heitkamp where her Republican colleague, Senator Bob Corker, Republican from Tennessee, calls her a winner and goes on to say about Senator Heitkamp, she's a pleasure to work with, very knowledgeable, direct, and very, very strong. Stronger than battery acid, said Senator Corker. And where I come from, that's a compliment. Well, Senator Corker, that's a compliment where we come from, too. Senator Heitkamp lives in Mandan with her husband, Dr. Darwin Lang, a family practitioner, and her 2 children, Allie and Nathan. Please help me welcome Senator Heitkamp.
I've not quite figured out what that stronger than battery acid thing means, but I'm sure Bob meant it as a compliment. Bob and I have been doing a lot of work on housing finance reform and obviously been talking a great deal about the housing crisis we have here in North Dakota. And talking about where we have this wonderful economy in the state of North Dakota. We have, as the minister spoke so eloquently in his prayer, we have a lot of people who need a little help and need a little help transitioning to our economy, whether they're from parts unknown. And I look at the list of all of the programs that you help fund, and I think about how significant those programs are in a time of dwindling federal resources, dwindling federal commitments, because so many of these programs over the years have been so linked with federal dollars. But what do we do when those federal dollars go away? If we don't want people to be cold in the winter, and if we don't want families to struggle as they work through mental health crisis without any help, we pull together. And that's the difference in North Dakota. And that's the difference when you come to a group like this and you walk in and it's United Way, and it's all of you working to one common purpose, which is to make this community a better community. To not look past people who are down on their luck, to not look past the opportunity that early childhood education or good daycare or good mental health services can provide to families today, which will make all the difference in their future tomorrow. We in this group do not look past. We do not look beyond. We look at the problem and we seek to solve the problem. Now, I do have to kind of reminisce a little bit because I used to be on the United Way board, and I think I was on the United Way board the first time we broke $1 million. And we thought that was really something. And I thought, how would you ever get beyond that? Look what you did last time. Almost $2.5 million from our community. And you know, I know both Andy and Dr. Lambrick, and let me tell you, they're really non-competitive, both of them. They don't believe in taking on challenges. They rest on their laurels. They just, they don't believe in doing better than the last guy did. Actually, I wouldn't want to get in either of their way. And I would maybe lock up my pocketbook if it gets close and they haven't reached their goal, because they will be out calling every one of you, calling you out to not look past all the important people in our community who we want to welcome, who we want to embrace, we want to incorporate in the new North Dakota. And maybe they're down a little bit on their luck. And so thank you, Andy, for serving, and thank you, Craig, for serving. And thanks to the entire board. I know how much time that takes. Thanks to all of the folks who work on the foundation. But I mainly want to say thank you to all the service providers who are here. You don't frequently get an opportunity to sit in rooms and really celebrate the accomplishments. You're too busy fundraising, or you're too busy providing direct services, or you're too busy worried about a client who maybe is on the brink of committing suicide, or a family that's struggling. And so today, I just encourage you all to take a moment and celebrate what you do. Celebrate what you do not only for your community by providing these services, but the impact you make every day on people's lives. I'm going to close with kind of a story, and it's a story about public service, I guess, a little bit. I get asked often, what's your great accomplishment? What's your great achievement in public life? And, I've been involved in a lot of big policies, but I tell a story about when I was first elected Attorney General. And I went to one of those, AG, or they're called NAG. Isn't that a great acronym? They're called NAG meetings. And I went around the room and they asked all the AGs, what they had accomplished. And, got to the AG from Massachusetts, and he single-handedly stopped organized crime in his state. Got to the AG, and he stopped juvenile crime, and she stopped any kind of scamming on. And I thought about all those things, and I thought, I've done all those things, but I've not done them alone. Not one of those things did any of those people do alone. So when it got to be my turn, I didn't want to say, I'd done all that. I said, I've worked with groups and done all these things, but I said, the other day I was having lunch in my office, and the phone was ringing, and no one was answering. And I picked it up, and it was a 90-year-old guy from Williston, North Dakota. And he was in a big fight with his dentist. And his dentist wouldn't give him back his teeth. The dentist was, and the guy was a crank, and you knew exactly why. He was just the crabbiest guy, and you knew exactly why he was in this conflict. But I figured he's 90 years old. He's a World War II vet. And maybe they just need someone to call him up. So I called up the dentist, or Rosie did, called up the dentist and said, we know he's really difficult, but can you give him back his teeth? And this very wise dentist in Williston, North Dakota, said sure. And so I explained to my colleagues that I was reasonably certain that there was a 90-year-old man in Williston who had his dentures, and that just might be one of my greatest accomplishments. I tell you that story because you look at the governor who's involved in huge public policy discussions and debates and issues. And you look at, the United States Senate and you see all those big issues, whether it's the Farm Bill or flood insurance. But at the end of the day, the one thing we can be reasonably certain is that each one of us as individuals can have an impact on one person's life. We can make a difference, and that is the great blessing of what you do, that you have that ability, and every day you change a human being's life. Congratulations. Congratulations. You're doing the Lord's work. God bless you for it. Thank you, volunteers, for all the work you're doing, and I'm so gratified to be here to celebrate the United Way with you and to help you meet that goal. Thank you so much for letting me come.
Thank you very much, Senator Heitkamp, for your remarks. And you're right, sometimes the smallest gestures make the biggest difference. And no doubt Senator Heitkamp, too, is leaving her legacy on our great state of North Dakota. We would now like to share a video greeting from Senator John Hoeven, who was unable to be with us today. John Hoeven currently serves as North Dakota's 22nd U.S. Senator, following 10 years serving as our governor. While Governor, Senator Hoeven worked to build North Dakota's future by focusing on 6 pillars of growth: education, economic development, agriculture, energy technology, and quality of life. Under his leadership, the state's economy expanded and diversified, and we gained almost 50,000 new jobs. Now Senator Hoeven is hoping to implement the same kind of pro-growth policies at the national level. Senator Hoeven and his wife Mikey reside here in Bismarck, and they are actively involved in our community. And as proof of this, Senator Hoeven left his legacy on our United Way by once serving as the chair of the Missouri Slope Area-Wide United Way campaign, an experience for which he is truly grateful. Please welcome the video from Senator Hoeven.
Good afternoon, and congratulations on another successful year. Today we honor the many contributions of the United Way to the people of Bismarck, Mandan, and the surrounding communities. The generosity of the United Way's staff, volunteers, and donors makes a tremendous difference in the lives of so many North Dakotans. The tireless service of United Way staff and volunteers, coupled with the tremendous generosity of donors, provides critical support for 33 agencies and 66 programs in North Dakota. Your generosity, whether you give of your time, talents, or resources, enables the United Way and its partners to improve the quality of life for individuals and families. The United Way reminds us that we are truly blessed to live in a state with close-knit communities, a place where people lend a hand to help friends, neighbors, or strangers in need. You truly show us the difference we can make when we work together, united to build stronger and safer communities. Thank you for leaving a legacy of greatness and for proving yet again that North Dakota's greatest asset is our people. Keep up the good work, and God bless.
Thank you very much to Senator Hoeven for passing along that video message. We do appreciate it. Before we continue, I'd like to recognize some very special guests today as well. Please hold your applause until the end. But I would like these folks to please stand. Sister Thomas Welder is with us today. Monsignor Shea, Superintendent of Mandan Public Schools, Dr. Mike Bitts. Superintendent of Public Schools here in Bismarck, Tamara Uzelman. Secretary of State Al Jaeger. North Dakota Tax Commissioner Ryan Rauschenberger. Just think, Ryan, someday you'll be emceeing up here as well. If it goes well, you know. Senator Margaret City from Bismarck here. Bismarck Chief of Police Dan Donlin. Monty Rouser and Eileen Weary from Senator Hoeven's office. Pastor Larry Junkie from Congressman Kramer's staff. Let's give these folks a warm round of applause. I would now like to thank our sponsors for their generous support. Thanks to our premier sponsors, BNC National Bank, Wells Fargo Bank, Shields, and Gate City Bank. Our presenting sponsors, Precision Underground and Ide Bailey. Our event sponsors, MDU Resources, St. Alexis Medical Center, Starian Financial, Basin Electric, NAIC, University of Mary, Wells Fargo Advisors, as well as the many generous table sponsors. Let's give them a very warm round of applause as well. And a big thanks to Basin Electric for helping with the audio and video, as well as to Christy Kraft. And again, thank you to the Ramkota staff who are very busy right now trying to provide you a very warm and wonderful meal. I appreciate all of their good service. I hope that you are enjoying the program, because we are going to just keep going because of all of the things we need to get done. Now, I would like to introduce our United Way's Executive Director, Jenna Gullo. Prior to joining the United Way, Jenna worked with the homeless and mentally ill population as the director of a large mental health program and did mission work in developing countries for over 14 years. Jenna has traveled to over 30 different countries. Jenna has appeared on ABC's Primetime with Diane Sawyer, was recognized as the 2008 Outstanding Young Alum by her university, and named the Outstanding Young North Dakotan. Jenna is a foster parent, and she provides emergency care to displaced children. Jenna recently was selected also by the United Way Worldwide to join their Executive Leadership Development Program through the Center for Creative Leadership. And as a part of this 14-month program, she participated in trainings held at Harvard Business School. What Jenna's bio does not say is that many of us in this audience today know just how energetic, how positive, what a dynamic person that Jenna is, and we are all very fortunate to work alongside her. So it's my pleasure to introduce your Executive Director and my friend, Jenna Gullo.
Well, I came up here early trying to give Corey the message, you can cut it short. But this is a monumental day for us. Senator Hoeven was under 2 minutes. I just want that to be noted for everybody. No, don't go telling him that Monty and Eileen. But no, really, we appreciate the video. Governor and First Lady, thank you for being here. Senator Heidkamp, it's very special to have you here as well. Look around, this is outstanding. This is just, This is unbelievable. It really, truly is. I thank you all for being here. I was talking with President Kraft before we started, and we were thinking, gosh, it was maybe 3 years ago that there were a third, maybe a quarter of the people here crammed down into the basement of the Ramkota. And now look at, we're filling the ballroom. So I don't know if you remember those times, but I remember my first annual luncheon. I was so nervous. I was trying to say the word success. Do you remember that, Monsignor? I remember you're belting loud. That was when Monsignor was father. Shay, you went through a name change in the time as well. And instead of the word success, my throat was, all nerved up, and I said the word sex. Sorry, Mom and Dad. And I was like, oh, Sister Thomas is in the front row. It was great. So stay tuned. You never know what is going to actually come out of my mouth today. I never know, really. But I just think this is outstanding that you're all here. I was reviewing the RSVP list late last night. And people that know me won't be shocked at this, but I actually started to get teary-eyed thinking of all the compassionate, good-hearted people who care so much about our community and that are taking your time out of your valuable, busy schedules to celebrate with us and to make our community really great. I want to start by recognizing the United Way team. There are only 6 of us at our office. And so please stand up. Stacy Cayley, Bree Fody, if you're out in the hallway, pop in. TJ Yerke, Amber Jensen, and Scott Hansen. Please stand up. Where are you guys? Wave. You're just rock stars. You're the reason this is so great, and it's your compassion and who you are on the inside that is really creating our United Way and making it so successful. I also want to make a quick mention that my parents are here for their 2nd annual United Way luncheon. So thank you to my mother and father for joining us in God's country here in North Dakota. So we're amazed every day at United Way. We're amazed at the generosity of people like you and so many of people back at your businesses. The employee campaigns have been outstanding this year. We actually had Bismarck Public Schools have the idea of competing with Mandan Public Schools. And Bismarck lost. So it is just awesome. So way to go, Mandan. So now the Tamra and some of her staff there have to wear the Mandan Braves apparel at a sporting event in Mandan, yes. But what's really fantastic is even though Bismarck lost the competition, they had a 24% increase in their giving. So we really didn't lose, so thank you. This last campaign, we had people like Jared Lundeen in charge of Tires Plus. Jared, are you here? Jared has been on the board of the Minot United Way, and he's been the campaign chair and board president there. And Jared had me come and speak to his crew at about, 5 in the morning, and they had their giving multiplied by 3. It was just awesome. And then you have Jay Lease at Wells Fargo challenging his Wells Fargo coworkers, and the outstanding jump that you had there. I could go table by table talking about all of the different successes that you've had and how you've all come together for our community. It's just been invaluable to us. But it's mostly your time, your brain power, and your dedication that is moving us so far ahead and at such a quick pace. We've had 1,000 pounds of food donated for our backpack program in just a few short months. This is to help to make sure that kids don't go hungry over the weekend. Town Square Media, for some reason or another, let me loose on air and gave us our United Way talk show. They donated it to us on Super Talk 1270. And I embarrass myself every other week on there, but it's just a great way to get the word out and get more people involved. We've had savings of over $250,000 because of your in-kind contribution. So everything from the Bismarck Tribune to KXMB, United Printing, Basin Electric has been outstanding. You give us all of our partner agencies, free computers. You're doing our IT, making us, get to the big level, making us look good here. And then Christy Kraft with It's About Time, donating her time to help us run this event and have it go so well for each of you. So together, we've accomplished a lot. This last year, we've provided over 41,000 nights of shelter, almost 17,000 meals were given to the elderly that went home to children over the weekend, and nearly 100,000 home-delivered and congregate meals helped seniors to stay healthy, independent, and active in the community. It's our agencies that are doing such an outstanding job. You're creating success stories every single day, and we know that you are pressed to the limit to try to meet the increase in demand in services. We all recognize that change was needed. We can't resume business as usual. That's Pastor Jonke's line in Menards on Sunday afternoon. But business as usual is not going to keep up with the demands that we're seeing. And so we have to pursue a decidedly different path if we're going to get ahead of the issues that we're seeing with our growing population. We need to start working smarter together and develop a more cohesive network of services. And that's just not our nonprofit sector, that's all of us in this room who really care about our community. So we know that financial stability is at the heart of people staying out of crisis. We have to build their skills. It's not enough anymore to just give the emergency utility assistance and help with the rent. We want to build skills and help to create self-sufficiency. Our community impact model, built by many of you in this room, led by Brenda Nagel at Aetna, is looking at collaborative approaches to solving a lot of these problems. We know that kids that are hungry aren't going to pay attention in school. We know that kids a lot of times aren't even getting to school. Jeff Lynn, one of my board members, assistant super at Mandan Public Schools, said, gosh, Jenna, if we could just get some of these kids to school, and if we could keep them at our school, so they're not such a transient population, we know they will be, much more likely to be successful. Tamra Uzelman at Bismarck Public Schools is a big proponent of school-based mental health. We need to make it a one-stop shop for a lot of these families, and we need to get to them sooner before they hit that crisis point. We want to do skill building with our case managers. We want to recruit every single one of you to be a mentor. It doesn't take a lot of time. Can your business adopt a classroom? Go and read for half an hour once a week. What can we do so that at some of our high poverty schools, 60% of those kids, they're not reading at proficiency level right now at some of them, and that means they're 4 times more likely to drop out of school. We can do something about that. We've got that power in this room. So the direction we're taking will deliver tremendous value in our community. We know that poverty is toxic. We know that it affects children in their early development stages. It's toxic to their chances for school achievement, their success later in life. And so we all united, we speak with one voice when we stress the importance of good nutrition, early childhood education programs, home visiting, case managers, mentors, good preschool and childcare. So we want to tackle those root causes of a lot of these issues. So at United Way, some people might say I like to stir the pot. Mom and Dad, you're not allowed to comment on that. But I believe that United Way truly is positioned to put these issues on the table for debate. We know we're not going to solve them all in one night or 1 year, but we have to celebrate our small successes and then start connecting the dots for all of those successes. And by putting them on the table, we're creating this sense of hope that change, that possibility of change is something that is down the road for us and that we can see that will occur. So we need you. We wouldn't be the United Way without each and every one of you. You are what have helped build this. People like President Terry Kraft, Dave Gooden, Dr. Lambrecht, Andy, Brenda Nagel, Dick Weber, Chuck Peterson. Each and every single one of you helped to build what we have today. We're harnessing a lot of power in this room. So together we just want to work smarter. We want to coordinate services better. And we specifically want to start measuring our results together. Our agencies are the experts. They're the ones that are going to be taking the lead on this. So I'm proud of what we have accomplished so far and the team that you've built. And I'm even more excited about what's to come in the future. So I thank you for the honor to serve you in our community. Thank you.
Where's Amber? Amber, note to the file, Jenna will use up all the time next year that Senator Hoeven saved us. Just kidding. We love your passion, Jenna. We love your commitment to this program. To her parents who are here, thank you for the contribution of Jenna, because she is leaving a legacy here in North Dakota on what she's doing for the United Way. So thank you very much, Jenna. As many of you are aware, United Way strives to achieve collective impact with our partners and makes sure that our dollars are targeted at solving the most pressing challenges that are facing our community. We would now like to show a short video that highlights the United Way's education initiative, and it highlights the true collaboration that's going on in our community.
We cannot properly educate a child when their basic needs aren't being met.
There's a lot of need with housing and just basic needs for making families function.
We feel like we need to provide a mentor to every child in the community that needs one.
The kids that I see oftentimes are distracted.
The outcomes that we're hoping with the education initiative is to have children with better attendance, attending school on a regular basis, having stable housing, parents are having active employment.
When you have children that are coming here with tummies that don't have food in it in the mornings, children who are stressed about whether they have a place to live, how many people are living in their homes, do they have a bed to go home to, will they be sleeping on the floor?
Oftentimes with clients that I see, they are struggling with being able to focus at school because they're very distracted by the issues going on at home.
A lot of people are coming here as their last hope, and most of them are not immediately successful in finding good opportunities here, and so there's a lot of need. Our collaboration with the Education Initiative through United Way is different because we're working more actively and purposefully with other agencies so that we're providing services up front rather than trying to fill in at the end.
Different agencies can come together and provide a wraparound approach and provide different services to help the family in their multiple different areas that they're needing help. That's really the ideal way to support a family.
We're excited this year to partner with Neighbors Network and the Bismarck Public School System in order to identify more of those kids that are at risk and need our services.
Neighbors Network is expanding into Mandan as a way of meeting the needs for these families that are flip-flopping back and forth between the two communities, mostly based on housing needs.
The Neighbors Network is a grant that we wrote in conjunction with Bismarck Public Schools using United Way funding. And what that program is it's kind of a hands-on ground approach to some of our issues.
We get involved through the relationship building that we do with the family in their home. Then we're able to get to the root cause and to cooperatively work with other agencies and services.
It's proven successful. Kids that spend regular time with a positive role model just do better in every aspect of their lives.
The value of the United Way is bringing together multiple agencies which can come together to serve the greater purpose of a community.
Thank you to all of our great agencies that make collaborations like the one that you just watched become a reality in our community. Before I welcome our next presenters, I would like our 20 businesses that are at the top of the lineup here to line up here in the back corner so that we can get started and be very efficient about that process. So please start lining up. And now I want to introduce the driving force behind the 2013 campaign, the co-chairs for the campaign, Dr. Craig Lambrecht, President of Sanford Bismarck, and Andy Siri. Please help me welcome to the stage Dr. Lambrecht and Andy Siri.
Okay, Andy, here's what we got to do. We got like 4 seconds to do banter, and then we got to catch up for 20 minutes because of Jenna. That's the biggest lift of this whole thing.
But
It's right now.
First things first, I promised 10 fifth graders at Cathedral Elementary School today that I would ask the crowd, show of hands, Broncos or Seahawks? So everybody for the Broncos, raise their hand. Oh, all right, put them down. Put them down. All right, Seahawks. And you can yell if you want to. There you go. Yeah, it's a partisan crowd for Denver, but I'm not pleased with it. But anyways, boy, we haven't announced the amount yet, have we?
Well, we do that in a little bit, but I think Senator Heitkamp might have helped us a little bit. Well, you gave away a number.
It was a good number.
It was. In all due respect. Yeah. We like it.
That was a good number.
Should we announce the cabinet, folks?
Yes,
I got to read it, otherwise I'm going to mess it up. So you guys are on T right now, so we're going to announce the cabinet, folks, and you got to stand up. And so everybody in this room knows, Andy and I really didn't do anything. It was the cabinet, and it was everybody out in the community that was doing fundraising and just pitching in, because at the end of the day, this is about what Bismarck Mandan and the area has done, and all the folks in this room who have helped it. So get ready, hold your applause to the end, and then clap like crazy. So let's go. Sally Iverson, Ellen Holt, Nicole Cavisto. I don't have my glasses on, so this isn't good. Kurt Scaly, Tanya Holmstrom, Brian Klipfel, Mary Marthaler, Wes Engebret, Wendy Hogue, Bob Weefald, never heard of him. Julie Jeske, Jane Morrow, Kathy Wamsley, Corey Rolstead. Could we give all these folks a fabulous round of applause? And so we know, there were times when Andy and I weren't even around and the cabinet was working, so we did nothing.
You have to be in town to be around.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Supposed to have Jenna up here, and you're going to give a big announcement. And again, thanks, Jenna. It's so much fun working with you. Okay.
We're ready for the campaign for Gila.
Watch the monitor. How's those apples?
And with that, I'd like to thank our campaign co-chairs for leading the way. Dr. Lambrecht. God bless. It's awesome. And Mr. Siri. Thank you.
Thanks, Donna. Thank you.
For taking us to another level. I'll put it over here.
You know, I mentioned briefly that I was at Cathedral today. This is the final day of Catholic Schools Week, and I did clear this with Monsignor Richter, so I'm not copyright infringement on his sermon or anything. But you know, we did a good job, a very, very good job. But I'm going to challenge everybody in this room that we can be great. You know, Jesus always asks us to be great, not just good, but great. And so although we really did hit the ball out of the park, we can do better next year. And that might sound like a resounding theme, Terry, as far as always pushing to do more. But as I look around this table and the leaders and the people, and it is truly a united effort of giving and living united, I know we can do better next year. And as Jenna said, you saw in the video with the kids, there is a need. So I personally want to thank you. Becky and I want to thank you for the great job that you've done. And please give yourself a hand, because it is a wonderful effort. Should we go on to the businesses? Once again, I want to thank all the businesses, the agencies, and the individuals who participated in this year's campaign. I will now begin presenting the campaign awards, starting with the top 20 contributors. We would like the representatives from each business to come to the stage on your right, cross the stage and meet Craig, and receive your award. Please hold your applause until the end of the awards, and photos will be taken after you receive your awards after the award ceremony in the back corner of the room. Coming in at number 20, we have a tie. We have B&I Coal and American Bank Center. Coming in at number 19, we have BNC National Bank. Coming in at number 18, we have Dan's Supermarket. I shop there too, Heidi, yes. Their produce is, no. Coming in at number 17, we have the North Dakota Workforce Safety and Insurance. Safety's job one, remember that, right? Coming in at number 16, we have Bartlett and West. Coming in at number 15, we have the North Dakota Department of Transportation. I know those folks have been busy with all the snow. Coming in at number 14, we have the National Information Solutions Cooperative. I see Vern sitting out there. Outstanding job, Vern. At 13, we have Butler Machinery. At 12, we have Gate City Bank. At 11, we have Wells Fargo Bank. At number 10, this is the top 10, so we should poop it up a little here. We have St. Alexis Medical Center. Absolutely. Number 9, Bobcat Company. Number 8, Starion Financial. And you've already heard about number 7, the Bismarck Public Schools. Yes. Number 6 is Aetna. Number 5 is Stanford Health. Number 4 is Tesoro Petroleum. Number 3 is Shields Sports. Number 2, MDU Resources. And guess who's number 1? Basin Electric Power Cooperative. Thanks again to our top 20 winners. Greg, I think it's back to you. Back to you. You have your glasses.
You know, for the record, I dropped the Sanford one. I'm never going to live through the end of that. Okay, so now we've got the categories of outstanding folks, outstanding organizations, leaders that have contributed. So, Andy, you got to hand out the awards. Don't drop any. Okay. All right. Best in Show Corporate Employee Gifts, BNI Cole. Best in Show for Small Business, Tires Plus.
We need these folks to come up and get their award.
Oh yeah, you guys got to come back up. Sorry, don't leave us. All right, Best in Show Employee Campaign, North Dakota Workforce Safety and Insurance. Best in Show United Way Agency, Missouri Valley YMCA. Best in Show Professional Division, Bartlett and West. And we have the Live United Award, Wells Fargo Bank, Dakota Eye Institute, and Bobcat Company. In the background, the guys are just hugging. Hey, Dave Gooden, is this better than last year, or what do you think? All right, okay. See, everybody's getting awards. And nobody's got, we don't have the names right, but that's okay. We're united. And, you know, I don't do jokes, but there's not a warmer place right now in the country than right now. After we plug in our cars tonight, of course. But you're up.
I'm up.
Yeah. You got to catch up. You're Andy.
That's right. I am Andy today. That's right. In addition, I would like to recognize one business for an outstanding employee campaign. This business exhibits the spirit of the Bismarck-Mandan area through philanthropy, volunteerism, and the spirit of community. Nominations for this award were evaluated by a panel of volunteers that judged each entry. This year's Spirit of Bismarck-Mandan Award is prevented. I didn't say sex, Jenna, okay? Is presented to the North Dakota Legislative Council. Now you're up.
I'm up. You know, and we're scripted, and look at how we're messing this up. We need teleprompters. Okay, now there's a new award status called the Tocqueville Society Award, and this is for a group of folks that have given at least $10,000, which is pretty spectacular. So I'm going to read off their names. I think a couple of them are here, so I'm going to embarrass them by asking them to stand up, and then we're going to applause like crazy. So for those Tocqueville folks who have given at least $10,000, I'm going to ask Andy Sari and Becky Sari. Stand up and be acknowledged. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, how about Becky? Okay, Craig and Shelley Larson. Yes. Thanks, Craig. I'm the only guy who golfs with Craig and never keeps score. Okay. And then I don't think Gary and Karen Miller were here, but applause to them. And then Jack and Kristen Paris, who were not available, so please, a round of applause for them. Okay, almost done. Next year, Andy and I are gone. We got to be replaced. So newer and better, bigger and better, higher than ever. Okay? Vern Dosh has agreed to be the campaign. I think you're co-chair and the whole chair right now. So Vern, thanks a lot for volunteering, and you're going to have all our unbridled support, and I couldn't think of a better upgrade for us. And then the honorary chair next year, Monsignor Shea. Thank you. So, Monsignor, it's a little hokey, but I guess now the sky's the limit, huh? So, we're done. We're going to get out of here so you guys can get on with everything that you do that's more entertaining than Andy and I. So, Andy, thanks so much. It's been great.
Thanks, buddy.
Let's give one more big round of applause to all of the businesses and organizations and the individuals who stepped up to the plate this last year to make this campaign such a great success. What a great number, $2.5 million. Again, our theme today is leaving a legacy, and to that end, it's time to recognize several individuals who are leaving their legacy by giving to our United Way Endowment Fund. To build on our strengths and prepare for the future, our United Way established an endowment fund with the goal that every dollar donated to our annual campaign is used to support local programs, provides a stable financial base while allowing us to maximize the resources we direct to local citizens. As part of Mark Cambites' planned giving, he left his mobile home, vehicle, and stocks to our United Way. Mark will be remembered for his gift as he joins our United Way's Legacy Circle, which honors visionaries who have made legacy commitments of $200,000 or more. And I think Mark's brothers, John and Joe, are here today with us, and please stand to be recognized. Others who have given to our United Way Endowment Fund include Hedall's Auto Parts, Kingswood Consulting, Dr. Greg and Lori Shuppy, Dr. Steve and Deborah Shuppy, Dr. Charles and Karen Dahl, Ward and Barbara Fredrickson, Dr. Ernie and Caroline Gottfried, Dave and Pat Gooden, Marianne Johnson, Julie Krenz and Paul Govig, Leroy Nays, Paul and Patty Sadness, Stacy and Sue Lynn Scheider, Josh and Sarah Valley, Mabel and Bernie Weiss, and Dan's Supermarket. So let's give them a round of applause as well. We also had $10,000 in anonymous donations to our endowment fund. Thanks again to all those who are giving back to the community in a way that will matter just as much 50 years from now as it does today. You truly are leaving a legacy in our community to follow. Because of generous businesses, organizations, and individuals in our community, we are able to highlight many agencies' success stories. Here is just one of the examples of our United Way agencies and how they are meeting our community needs.
I moved to Bismarck in 1956 with the Bureau of Reclamation, and I retired in 1977. I did take on some part-time jobs. My wife had MS, and when she got to the point that she couldn't be left alone, I had to quit the part-time jobs. Well, now that I have this student nurse, and she helped me with cleaning, vacuuming. She fixed the washer and dryer with stickers so I could see the numbers on the dial. And then tonight she's going to come and fix supper for me. That's going to be a big treat. I don't have any trouble fixing breakfast or lunch, so I get Meals on Wheels and I save that for supper time. I heat that up in the microwave. I'm Ray Maxted and I'm 94 years old. I want to thank United Way for helping me to stay in my own home. It's been a big help to me.
This year we had 550 volunteers help with 30 different community projects on August 14th as a part of our Day of Caring. To fully understand and fully appreciate the reach of our MSA United Way and the scope of the programs that benefit from our United Way, you really need to participate in the Day of Caring. I participated 2 years ago when I chaired the government division, and it was an eye-opening experience for me to see directly, firsthand, the impact that your contributions, financial and otherwise, are having in our communities, on our families, on our kids, on our vulnerable populations throughout our community. It is truly an amazing day. I want to recognize the Day of Caring co-chairs, Mia Amini and Molly Brooks. Will you please come forward? We would like to thank you for your dedication to this year's Day of Caring. You did a great job. Thanks very much, ladies, for all your hard work, and I really do encourage, if you have the chance, take part in Day of Caring. It will change your view of our community and the work that this agency does. I would also like to take this opportunity to introduce the Women's Leadership Circle Committee, and I'd like them to please stand and be recognized. Our co-chairs are Sarah Rickman and Tricia Meidinger, Julie Dahl, Paula Grainer, Chris Hall, Lori Katermas, Lisa Kadelka, Dorothy Lick, and Artie Poppy. This year's Unwrap the Magic event raised funds to sponsor 90 kids in United Way's Dolly Parton Imagination Library. And the Women's Leadership Circle is also responsible for starting United Way's backpack program, ensuring children aren't going hungry over the weekends while they're not in school. And it's because of these women who are standing that that's happening. So a round of applause for the Women's Leadership Circle. Again, small gestures make a huge difference. So again, thank you to all of our amazing volunteers for all their assistance throughout the year. United Way could not accomplish what it does without volunteers, all of our volunteers working together. So thanks again for all that you do. I would now like to call on Terry Kraft and Dr. Steve Shuppy to the podium. I would like them to announce a very, very special award for the United Way.
Wow, what a beautiful sight. A lot of people out there. This is fantastic. Each year, the United Way recognizes one individual who has gone above and beyond to give back to our community. This individual is the recipient of the Lifetime of Caring Award. The nominee must be a longtime resident of the Bismarck-Mandan area, be someone who serves as an example, be a contributor to the overall betterment of our community, have consistently devoted a significant amount of volunteer time to community service, be instrumental in beginning new programs or new methods to solve community problems, and have leadership or service work that has resulted in community building.
Before we invite this year's recipient to the stage, please direct your attention to the video screen for a brief video.
Through the years, children, countless aspiring athletes who were in his basketball camps, his own student athletes, hundreds of athletes in Special Olympics all looked up to Al as their hero.
He would do anything for anybody.
If you need help with it, Al will do it. In fact, even if you don't need help with it, Al will volunteer to help.
Al is the kind of person who has always put others first.
He was very intense. Once in a while he'd get real excited and he'd go to jump off the bench. I'd just grab his sport coat and pull him back down.
As tremendous of a coach that he had been and how much he'd done for you, Mary, he does so much more than that.
Not only was Al a national leader on the board of Special Olympics, but he opened the door for the University of Mary.
He got us involved in Special Olympics, our football team, basketball team.
He was insistent on taking the success that you had on the court and applying that to your business life, to your personal life, and to your community.
He not only taught his athletes about basketball, which was what he coached, but he taught them about life.
I like to tease Al about this, that Linda is sort of the brains of the operation of their family, and Al will jokingly admit that.
Linda had a love for the student athletes and their parents that was as intense as the coach had.
She was really the kind of the hostess for a lot of players.
I've always said it takes a heck of a woman to be the wife of a coach.
People really knew Al and Linda. They know that as much as they hear in the community and how much they do and how positive they are, they know that they're actually twice the people that they're portrayed as.
I can't imagine anyone who is more suited and more deserving of the Caring Award.
Accept it. Al, don't say you don't deserve it, because you do.
Natives of North Dakota and longtime residents of Bismarck, Al and Linda have always been committed to student success and to giving back to their community. The Bortkeys have a legacy that is much richer than the awards and accomplishments that Al has received in this coaching and athletic arena, however. And all who are familiar with the Bortkeys know what an incredible background support system that you are, Linda, for Al. We know that. Their deep loyalty and commitment to the University of Mary in its entirety, along with their commitment to community service ranging from their work with the Special Olympics, to serving on numerous boards and committees, to being a mom and dad away from home for the hundreds of athletes that you coached, Al, is only a fraction of who they are. What sums them up best to me is to say that Al and Linda have mastered the art of being leaders and servants. And that's a hard thing to do. They are templates for how people should lead their lives in service to others. And they are mentors and lasting role models for all who would aspire to serve their fellow man. Over time, I can think of several times where Deb and I have visited after we've run into the Bortkeys, where we would say, if the world were full of Al and Linda Bortke, if we're full of people like that, it would be a much better place to live. And it's really easy to imagine for many of you in the room here that you've probably said the same thing about Linda and Al at one time or another. Al and Linda are here with their sons Todd and Paul and their families. And so please welcome to the stage Al and Linda Bortke.
Well, I have to say this is absolutely a total surprise, and Dr. Chuppy and my oldest son Todd and Paul and Ann and my daughter-in-laws are going to really be in trouble with me. Jen, you're the youngest and you're going to be getting it. I don't have any notes. But a lot of you people who have probably heard me talk before know anyway that I screw up the notes anyway when I do have it. I think this award should go to Linda, because she's really been caring for me for about the last 5 years since retirement. You know, I think I heard many words today of people up on the stage, reverent of time and caring and love and support. And I think back to a long time that's got a kind of a crawl in me of a quote by Alexander the Great. He said he was on his deathbed. It was about to expire. And he called in his generals and said, I want 3 things, and these are not requests, they're demands. And it goes something like this. Number 1, I want the best 8 doctors in the nation to be my pallbearers. Secondly, I want all of the treasures that I have strewn upon the road that they'll take me to my burial place. And thirdly, I want my arms hanging outside of the casket. And of course, the generals questioned whether or not he had any type of sanity left in him. And they said, but why do you want to do this? And he said that sometime even the best doctors in the nation cannot continue on your life, in your lifespan. Secondly, he said, I want all of the treasures and the jewels and the wealth spread out on the road that they're taking me to, my final burial ground. And third, he said, I want my arms hanging outside the casket because I want everybody to know that we are born into this world with our hands empty. And when we expire from this world, we also will have our hands empty. And he said, to me, the most precious thing that you can have in your life is time. And you know, we kind of analyze that a little bit. And I think that is so true that if we realize that the most precious thing we have in our life is time, and that time is the most precious thing that you and I can give away. We can take time to just be involved with somebody that doesn't have the mental capabilities that we do, or the physical capabilities, or ever the riches or whatever. But just take time, because your time is never going to be brought back again if you give it to somebody else. And hopefully they'll bring that same time to somebody else too. So I've learned so much by giving time to our athletes and to Special Olympics and so forth. Giving time, the schools give me time to be able to rise to leadership in the national organization, for example, of the NEIA. It's just been really good, and the good Lord has given me time with my wife for over 50 years. 53. I was on the road a lot. So each and every one of you here, I would just encourage you to take time, give a little of your time to somebody else. I like to study little kids. It's just unreal. And I have a little 5-month-old grandson. And you see him and he just kind of stares at you. But if you give him time and you talk to him a little bit, he's going to give a smile to you. And what a smile that is implanted in your heart. So thank you for this tremendous award. Linda, it's your turn. And I can't tell you how surprised we were of this until I sat down. I do have to admit one thing. Dr. Chuppy and I were on a board to raise funds for the Bismarck Municipal Ballpark. And by the way, I'll be at the door. But Dr. Chuppy asked me to come to lunch with him. He said, I want to buy lunch for you. And I said, hey, that's pretty good. And then my son Todd called and said, I want to take you to lunch. And I thought, well, you know, what's going on here now, you know? He knows something in the medical profession that I don't know about me. And it was really a big problem because I thought, you know, Dr. Chuppy is going to buy me lunch. My son is going to buy me lunch. if I go there, that's 2 lunches. And so, do I take my wife and share that? Or do I just take a box and bring it home again? So, Jenna and everybody, you know, I'm not going to say congratulations because with your leadership, that's just what is expected. But I want to say thank you. Thank you from the heart of all those people that you've taken time to make a better life for them. Thank you very much.
I just want to add, first of all, I want to greet our governor and his first lady and Senator Heidi Heitkamp. They have given us a wonderful state to do this in. We've had a wonderful community of Bismarck to do this in. And we had an opportunity to raise our children and in Catholic education. And our sons had a wonderful education at the University of Mary. We want to thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Terry and Scott Kleingen, Terry just said, would you please talk a little bit more about some of these halftime sermons you have? But I usually said, holy skimmers, we got to do something else.
Well, thank you very, very much, and congratulations to you, to the Bortkeys, and what words to live by, time. And I think that's a very valuable lesson for us today, is that we can give our time, and sometimes that's the most valuable thing that we can offer. Speaking of time, unfortunately this week we lost someone who gave a lot of their time to our Bismarck-Mandan community. He was active in this organization, the United Way, the YMCA, and many, many other causes in Bismarck-Mandan, and that is Marv Erdman. And so we want to send our thanks to his family for all of his contributions, and send our prayers to his family and, of course, his wife Lois Erdman. And so we are certainly with them today. Before we move on to the very short business meeting, which will be done quickly, I understand, I just want to say that while we're not quite done yet, I'm done for the day. And so thank you very much for your kind attention. You've been a great audience. And again, thank you very much for the commitments that you're making to our United Way, to our community, and to Vern Dosh and to Monsignor. Congratulations. Good luck. Now it's your turn to leave your legacy on this community. So congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you to Mr. Fong, an excellent MC. We will be done in the next 7 minutes. I promise you that. And in that, I'm giving my president a clock, so he has 7 minutes. Just kidding, Terry. We just want to end, before we do the short business meeting, by recognizing our #1 volunteer. President Kraft has really led the way in reorganizing our United Way, building skills and capacity within our agency, and giving of his time. I was telling his parents what a gem they have in Terry. Any of you that know him, he is sincere, true blue, compassionate, passionate, hardworking. He's someone that I personally do look up to and mentor, although he's not that old, Terry. But the gift of his time has been invaluable to our operations. He pinched hit for presentations for me, took me around on visits with top prospect donors. He was there for everything we've asked. His answer is yes, not let me look at my schedule. He'll say, we'll make it work, and he shuffles things around for us. So I just want to thank you, Terry, for your leadership.
Coach, it was just like those halftime things. They just went on and on and on. It took all my minute. Congratulations, Al and Linda. It's a fantastic award. St. Francis of Assisi said, start by doing what is necessary, then what is possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. I think 2 years ago, when we had raised $1.5 million, if we were honest with ourselves, we'd have said, there's just no possibility we're going to get to 2.5 in a couple of years. This is just unbelievable. Jenna and your staff, all the credit in the world goes to you guys. Fantastic job. I think somebody said it earlier, but I'll say it again. Our partner agencies, you guys are the real heroes. You guys are in the trenches doing all the work. We appreciate everything you do. That's just a tremendous benefit for the community. Just a couple quick thank yous, Andy and Craig. Thanks for everything you guys did. You really raised the bar. Fantastic job. Campaign chairs, thank you. Thank you to everybody that wrote a check or rolled up their sleeves and got involved. We really appreciate it. I've been a salesman my whole life, but the best sale I ever made was 28 years ago when I talked this gorgeous lady out of Hettinger, North Dakota, into marrying me. So I want to recognize my wife, Colette. Colette, I love you. Thanks for letting me do this. All right. One final line, then we'll move on to our business. Matthew Kelly, I think I said it best. Matthew Kelly said, I know one thing. None of us will truly be happy until we find a way to serve others. And I just congratulate everybody for coming and getting involved in this. I appreciate that. With that, we'll move on to our business meeting. I would like to call the meeting to order and call for a motion to allocate the funds raised during the 2013 campaign. Thank you. Is there a second? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The bylaws provide for the election of new members to the Board of Directors at the annual meeting, as well as those renewing their term. I ask the nominees for the board to stand as I call your name. Ann Reich with the North Dakota Bankers Association, Brian Klipfel with Workforce Safety and Insurance, Dave Inkstead with Dakota Paper, John Weber with NISC, and Mark Detling with Langang Home Center. In addition, those renewing their term would be Ted Cash with Basin Electric and Terry Kraft with American Family Insurance. I'd like to call for a motion for the election of these board members. Is there a second? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Before sitting, may I ask the other board members listed on page 2 of the 2013 annual report to stand and be recognized also. All right, thank you. Let's have a round of applause. The bylaws also provide for the election of officers to the Board of Directors at the annual meeting. I would like to ask the nominees for board officers to stand as I read your name. President, Dr. Steve Chuppy with Chuppy Chiropractic Clinic. Vice President, Ted Cash with Basin Electric Power Cooperative. Secretary, Kevin Stadler with BNC National Bank. Treasurer, Adam Dever with Mann Enterprises. Past President, Terry Kraft. Member at Large, Paula Grainer, G&R Consulting. I'd like to call for a motion for the election of these officers. May I have a second? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. May I ask the current trustee members to stand and be recognized? Page 3 of the 2013 annual report. May I have a motion to re-elect the current Board of Trustees? Is there a second? All in favor say aye. And opposed? Motion carries. Okay, before closing this meeting, I would like to congratulate one of my really good friends and just a fantastic guy, our new incoming president for 2014, Dr. Steve Chuppy. Steve, would you stand? We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. This concludes our meeting. I want to say thank you to Corey Fong. Thank you to the Radisson staff for all the work they did here. Our sponsors, BNC National Bank, Wells Fargo Bank, Shields, Gate City Bank, Precision Underground, Eide Bailey, and our event sponsors, MDU Resources, St. Alexis, NISC, University of Mary, Wells Fargo, all the table sponsors. Thank you, everybody. Have a good afternoon.